this is Megan.
And this is Mark.
Welcome to our 7th video of the Star Wars Land construction at Disneyland.
We'll also talk about the area that's being changed to make room for Star Wars Land, such as Big Thunder Trail, the rerouting of the Disneyland Railroad, and Rivers of America.
Today is March 4th, 2017.
First of all, we'll look at the circular structure. I'll go ahead and zoom in so we can see it better. Here we can see that concrete has been added to the center portion and to the circular columns. Also notice that tube forms are around each column where the concrete has been added. Each one of these tube forms will eventually be removed once the concrete is completely cured. Now looking close to the sidewall, where we saw the formwork being added last time we were here, horizontal rebar has been added. And it looks like soon concrete will be added to this area as well. Next, if we glance to the left portion of the Battle Escape Show building, a structure has been added to the top of the stairwell. This will allow access to the top level. Now if we look at the building behind where the Millennium Falcon attraction will be, we can see that workers are adding a steel joist to the horizontal beams of the building. The main function of a joist is to provide direct support for floor decking. This will help distribute the weight load on the deck and also put less stress on the structural frame, such as beams and columns. Next, a worker is welding the joist to a beam. Over at the perimeter of Rivers of America, rock forms are being welded into position at Area 24. I'll zoom in so we can see it better. Rock forms are being welded at Area 23C as well. Next, we'll go on Big Thunder Trail to observe the other side of these rock forms. Here we are on Big Thunder Trail, and rock forms are being welded on this side as well. If we look to the right a little bit, we can see a telehandler lifting several mesh forms at one time. Here a worker is painting a cluster of small rocks. Next, we'll look over here. A worker is adding water to the wall. Now painting over the area where the water has been added. They're continuing to add paint. Now adding water. It's interesting that running water is being added to the coat of paint. Adding water to the coat of paint will make the paint run a little bit. I wonder if they're adding the running water to make the paint more dilute in some areas and more concentrated in others. This method spreads the paint into different shades, making darker and lighter areas. As a result, it creates a colored pattern to make it look like natural wood. Next, we'll go on Big Thunder Mountain Railroad. Alright, we're coming out of the cavern, and we'll look to the left. From here we can see the walking path area leading to the tunnel entrance to Star Wars Land. Notice that the truss bridge is a different color. As a comparison, this is what the bridge looked like when it was first installed in November through February. And this is what the bridge looks like today. Looking over at Tom Sawyer Island, we can see that a lot more trees have been added. Also notice nothing has been built on the concrete foundation yet. It is possible that they're waiting for all the trees to be in place before a structure is built there. Down where the river is going to be, the track foundation is being built for the Mark Twain riverboat and sailing ship Columbia. Identical to what we saw them create last month over in Critter Country.
Today is March 11th, 2017.
It looks like framework has been brought in to make Imperial Walkers. That is really cool. This is awesome because this is the first recognizable Star Wars element to come out of the construction so far. Not precisely sure where they're going to put them in the show building yet. I guess we'll just have to wait and see. And on a side note, another name for Imperial Walker is AT-AT Walker. I've also heard it pronounced as AT-AT Walker. This stands for All-Terrain Armored Transport. Now if we look behind the Imperial Walker framework, a construction elevator has been added. This will allow construction workers to get equipment and supplies up and down easier from level to level. Here at the circular structure, some more concrete forms have been added to the sidewall. It also looks like forms are in place to create a door.
It's amazing how many trees they brought in.
Yeah, it is, and also notice a piping that's extending through the rock formations. This piping will more than likely be used for the waterfalls. Here's what it looked like back in January. There are no trees in place between the two walls making up the perimeter of Rivers of America. Also, notice the piping laid out in front of the rock formations. Now I'll dissolve the picture back to what it looks like today. Quite a difference. On top of the Phantasma storage building, we can see that upblast exhaust fans have been installed. This type of fan is used for industrial ventilation. The most common things they ventilate is heat, smoke, or chemicals. My guess is the primary usage of these will be for temperature and humidity control. Now we're located in Critter Country. On the other side of the fence, we can see that railroad ties have been added to a bridge. Now if we move over to where the walking path to Star Wars Land will be, a worker is using a plate compactor to flatten out the dirt. More than likely, he's getting it ready for it to be paved. Behind him, a skid steer loader is being used to distribute the dirt. Here on Big Thunder Trail, a worker is adding rust detail to what appears to be a wood stove chimney of the shed. Next, the worker is adding detail to rust runoff from nails located on the roof of the shed. It's amazing the attention to detail that's going into every aspect of the construction. It is awesome. This worker is adding a lighter coating to the wall to make the wood look more aged. Notice that the worker is making sure that the coat is a thin layer. I believe this is to make sure that the colored pattern from the previous coat that we saw them add last time we were here comes through. Now over here, the metal beams have a coating on them to make them appear to be wood rather than metal. This coating is exactly the same as we saw them add to the walking path bridge in Critter Country back in February.
Here they're adding some paint to the truss bridge.
Next, we'll go on Big Thunder Mountain Railroad. We're coming out of the cavern. Here we can see a log cabin being made on top of the concrete foundation. At this point, some of the walls have been made. It's looking nice. Now we'll move on. In the distance, we can see the opposite side of the Battle Escape show building. We have a good view of the construction elevator that we also saw from the Making Friends parking structure. Next, we can see that the rock development on the wall is starting to take form, along with some back rock on the opposite side of the wall. This location is being referred to as the blast area. Here's what it looked like back in February. And if we look closely, we can see the writing on the wall. The word blast is there, and it'll be interesting to see what they mean by that. I'll dissolve the picture back to what it looks like now. More detail has been added to the border of the tunnel entrance as well.
Today is March 14th, 2017.
The crawler crane is lifting one of the added body frames into position. Alright, now one of the leg frames is being lifted by a telehandler to bring it into position. Next, workers are removing the cable from the leg frame. A second leg is being lifted. Notice that they're rotating the leg framework so it's facing the correct way. Now it's being lowered. Notice that a worker is signaling to the telehandler operator to keep lowering it. It's in position. Now the cable is detached. Next, the third leg is being lifted. They're rotating this one as well, so it's facing the correct way. Here they are removing the cable. The last leg framework is being lifted to be put into place. Notice that the telescopic boom of the telehandler is extending out as the leg is being lifted. Now the leg is being rotated. The cable is released just like the other ones. Notice that attached to the top of the body framework, there are additional beams. And these beams will be attached to the beams of the building located above to securely place the body of the AT-AT into position. But before this is done, the body frame needs to be lowered and attached to the legs. Workers are positioned near the top of the legs and are ready for the body to be lowered. And here it goes. The AT-AT body framework is being lowered. If you look closely, the worker in the background is attaching one of the legs. The workers now are attaching the beams located at the top of the body framework to the beams located above to securely fasten the AT-AT in position. Today is March 18th, 2017, and if we slide to the left, we can see that both Imperial Walker frames have been assembled. That is really cool. It is amazing how big and impressive those walkers are. I am getting more and more excited every day looking at all of this.
Me too.
It is amazing.
And here's a good view of the heads.
Now if we look at the top of the building, we can see that beams have been added to the roof. It'll be interesting to see what they're for. Here at the circular structure, actually it's becoming more of a cylindrical structure now, but anyway, in the middle of the structure, laying on their side, are concrete tube forms. These tube forms will eventually be placed over the rebar to put concrete in to create the 7 columns that will be located in the center of the structure. Now if we look to the right of the structure, horizontal rebar has been installed, which appears to be a wall footing for the continuation of the sidewall of the show building. Now if we look between the trees that are located on the perimeter of Rivers of America, we can see the cabin that is being made on Tom Sawyer Island. It is really coming along. Next what we'll do is go on Big Thunder Mountain Railroad and peek through the cavern hole to get a better look at it. Alright, here we are looking out of the cavern hole. I'll zoom in so we can see it better. It is really taking shape. If you look on the side of the cabin, you can see that a chimney is being made. I wonder what the theming of this new cabin will be. The original cabin was first called the Burning Settlers Cabin, and this cabin was set on fire apparently by hostile Indians. Then around 1991 the flames ceased to burn, and the sign in front of the cabin stated it was now the home of Mike Fink, the King of the River. It'll be interesting to see what the new theming of the cabin will be, or will they keep it as Mike Fink's cabin? I guess we'll just have to wait and see. We're in Critter Country, and on the other side of the fence, we can see that more track foundation for the Mark Twain riverboat and the sailing ship Columbia has been made. Also, it's amazing all the trees in the distance. They're effectively blocking the view of Star Wars Land and the parking structure. Here at the walking path to Star Wars Land, it looks like it has been paved. It is looking nice.
Today is March 25th, 2017.
To the right of the Battle Escape Show building, a trench has been dug and concrete has been laid out. It's possible that this is a concrete footing base for a structure. However, it has an interesting shape to it. Over at the Battle Escape Show building, some more beams and columns have been added. Now, if we look over to the area close to Critter Country, we can see that a new concrete wall has been made. Also, concrete forms have been put in position to create a sidewall for the Critter Country tunnel entrance. And the Disneyland Railroad will travel above this entrance. Next, if we focus our attention to the left, we can see that more trees have been brought in. Look to the far right of the picture. We can see a cluster of purple pipes. The color of the pipe indicates what the pipe will be used for. Wherever recycled water is used, purple pipes are used. These pipes will more than likely be used to irrigate the new landscaping. Now if we look between the trees, workers are in the process of installing the roof of the cabin. We'll go on Big Thunder Mountain Railroad next to see it at a different angle. Here we're looking out of the cavern hole. The cabin is definitely coming along. We'll go ahead and move on a little bit. From this angle we can see that more forms are in position, and this is where the Millennium Falcon attraction will be. We're on Gadget's Go Coaster, and we'll look behind us. Here we can see that upblast exhaust fans have been installed at the top of the Disneyland Railroad Tunnel. Now let's go peek through the fence in Critter Country. Notice that rebar has been added to where the bottom and the side of the river will be. They're getting the area set up to eventually add the concrete layer. Next we'll look at the path leading to the entrance to Star Wars Land. Here we can see that a side railing is being made between the path and where the river will be. Also notice that wood has been added to the walking path surface of the bridge. Notice the amazing detail that has been added to the bridge so far. Here's what it looked like back in February, and I'll dissolve the picture back to what it looks like today. It is amazing the attention to detail that is developing from every aspect of the construction. Well, that's a taste of things to come.
We can't wait to see what they build next.